Hey everybody, welcome back to the Unsung Podcast. Today I have a very special guest with me. This is Faith, who I met when I was late night, can't sleep scrolling on TikTok. And she was just there with her guitar and her voice and the words, and oh, it just blew me away. So I'm like, you've got to come on with me. So, welcome to my show, very talented Faith in New York State.
Thank you. I'm excited.
So, how long have you been singing? When did you first pick up guitar and
Guitar has always been like a diary for me. So it's always kind of for the last, gosh, probably since I was like 16, 15, 16. So like 2020, 2017. Just like writing and just processing my own feelings through guitar and through songwriting. And so I had never shared it with anybody or really like posted it or anything until like a week ago on these TikTok lives.
wow?
And it's been crazy, but like for a long time, probably like 8 years.
It's funny how things work, eh? Like I started playing guitar when I was 10, and then I stopped because I was so drunk for a lot of years and I just didn't have a guitar. And then about 6 months ago, the music director of my church gave me a guitar. So I started playing again, started practicing, started singing, and now I'm doing TikTok lives on a podcast. So you never know what you never know what can happen.
No, that's so special. And music is so healing. Like that's such a special relationship to have with it, especially now.
Now, some of the words in your songs, and like I noticed when I was on your live, you're like, okay, this one is from when I was in a cult, or this one is about this. Boom, just these powerful songs. How many songs have you written in total?
Oh gosh, people were asking me the other night too, and I couldn't tell you. Definitely over 100. If I had to guess, probably between like 150, 175, somewhere in there. The amount that are like playable or like palatable to anybody, probably dramatically less. But it's just diary entries, so it's like a time capsule of how I felt in different moments.
You know what I thought was really cool? I've been in a few of your lives now, and the other day you were on one, and somebody was like, "Hey, can you play this song?" And it was the song you'd written like that they must have heard on live about a month ago. And that must feel cool to have people remember the tunes and the titles.
Oh, 100%. I had one. I had posted a song, which was crazy for me back when my TikTok was private. And so it was just whoever had been on there when it was public that I'd never really met, posted one, privated it, was like, okay, I'm not doing that again. And they were in my TikTok live the other day, saying, can you play this song that has this lyric? I don't know what it's called. I just know you played it a year and a half ago. And then it's like, that's such a big moment for me when my songs have only existed to me, like at least in my head, like these are songs and lyrics that have only ever been mine, and to have it be like, oh, can you play Idaho? Oh, can you play whatever has this lyric? Oh, that one's my favorite. It's like surreal in so many different ways.
Who would you say your biggest musical influences are? Like, what do you find yourself listening to a lot?
I listen to a lot of music. I love my Taylor Swift. I love my bubblegum pop. And I love stomp and holler folk. Um, I love like the Gregory Allen Isakov I've seen in concert every year for the last 4 years. Um, Tyler Childers. I listen to a lot of different. I'm in a Luke Combs phase right now. Um, but Phoebe Bridgers. I listen to a lot of. I mean, no one super underground, but probably like influentially, like lyrically, maybe like Phoebe Bridgers, that kind of hyper specific and yet still general enough to be semi relatable, I guess, in a way.
I like how a lot of lives I go on to and look at, there's a lot of people with these like $800 mics, and there's this extreme echo and reverb, and it sounds so produced. But I mean, when you come on yours, it's just you and your guitar, and it's just so real. And the words, like a lot of the words in the songs, hit me personally too. One about the that I hope you'll play with the praying to God while I'm smoking a cigarette thing. So those words were so powerful.
The response to that song in particular has been insane to me. Just because I felt so silly even playing it on live the first time I played it, being like, okay, well, either everyone's gonna think that I've really gone off the deep end, or it's like, okay, like, girl, like your faith is like not something to be broadcasting to people. But having people even message me being like, like that was really endearing to me. Like I'm struggling with, feeling like like I don't belong in the faith that I'm in. And it's like, no, you do. Like we're human and we struggle. And so I don't know. That's just been everything has just been so crazy. It's been a crazy week.
Sometimes it's really terrifying. Like last Sunday, my girlfriend convinced me to play at church. They're having this concert series called Joyful Notes, and that's where we first met before we started talking unofficially, just shooting the shit on the way out of the foyer, whatever it's called. And so when I'm on doing these lives or just singing, she's always right behind me. She loves it. She's addicted, and she's like, "You should play Hard Fought Hallelujah at church." And I'm like, "Listen, like." I drank for almost 30 years. I did a lot of karaoke for 20 years. And for me to get up on that stage, I had to have 4 or 5 beers in me for courage, for nerves. It's just, I don't know what it was. So last Sunday was the first time I played sober in front of about 150 people. It was so nerve wracking, but just the comments after, and I put it on TikTok and it had almost 12,000 views and not one troll. It was mind blowing. So it's
That's so
you're talking
amazing.
about faith and that song being about faith. Like I used to be so afraid to even say anything. Now I just don't care anymore. Like if people don't like me, they can turn the channel.
Literally. It's such a vulnerable part of ourselves to share with people. And so it's especially fulfilling, when it's kind of validated and honored. Like that's so special. I'm so glad you got to experience that.
Well, you know what's also special? I think I've been on 3 year lives so far, and one thing I admire because I used to get a lot of trolls. I still get trolls, but now I just don't give a shit anymore. But what I loved about you is these people are just posting this disgusting things in the comments, and you just move on. You just kept going. You're like, oh, thanks for that. Move on. It's very admirable, especially this day and age.
Well, I mean, people are not cruel because everything is perfect in their lives. And I think a lot of times when we're so quick to be, to match vitriol with vitriol and to be angry back, like how am I doing anything for you at that point? Like if you need to be cruel to somebody, like it's not going to affect me. You're a stranger on a TikTok live stream, right? But I don't want to be another factor in contributing to like your worldview of like people being whatever it is you think. Like that has to come from a place of hurt and a place of
Yeah.
anger, whether you can realize that or not. You know what I mean?
I had one of my trainers say to me, we were talking about trolls one day, and she said to me, "Do these people pay you rent money?" I'm like, "No." Well, then don't let them live in your effing head for free.
Yep.
And that was. It used to be like I used to get anxiety from trolls. It bugged me for days. I couldn't sleep. Now it's just whatever. I love it. So that song about the Jesus and the cigarettes. I'm sorry. What was the name of that?
It's called Me, Jesus, and American Spirits.
Me, Jesus. I'm just making notes here for after American Spirits. Well, if you'd love to give that a play and just tell us where that song came from after, that would be amazing.
Sure.
I will sit back and enjoy.
Right. I'm like making sure my computer doesn't fall over. I've got me and I've got Jesus, back of menthol, American spirits, driving down the back roads home from church. Savior on the cross just holds my hand as I go off. I say I believe what you said in the word. But how can you love some broken, messed up girl? These expectations and these rules I know I can't amount to. I wanna obey and don't know how to. I commit to religion and then I look for conditions. I feel like I do everything wrong. Smoking cigarettes when I pray. Drink a bottle of wine yesterday. I think I'm a disappointment to everyone else. Do you hate me? Let me know, 'cause I can't tell. I've got me and Mother Mary in the front seat of my Chevy, screaming out the words to all the songs. To chase the fame, Christine, don't know a dang word to Jolene, but sometimes she gets the harmony spot on. God, is this a disrespectful song? These expectations and these rules I know I can't amount to. I wanna obey and don't know how to. I commit to religion and then I look for conditions. I feel like I do everything wrong. Smoking cigarettes when I pray. Drank a bottle of wine yesterday. I think I'm a disappointment to everyone else. Do you hate me? Let me know, 'cause I can't tell. And God, I know you're there, you're omnipresent. And God, I know you care, you're well intended. Father, Son, and Paraclete, let me know if you think it's cheap to write about what all I'm struggling with. Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, if this is wrong, just let me know. I don't understand nuances of that. These expectations and these rules I know I can't amount to. I wanna obey and don't know how to. I commit to religion and then I make up conditions. I feel like I do everything wrong. Smoking cigarettes when I pray. Drank a bottle of wine yesterday. I know I'm a disappointment to everyone else. Do you hate me? Let me know, 'cause I can't tell. Do you hate me? Let me know. Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. If this is wrong, just let me know. I've got me and I've got Jesus, back him and all American spirits. Driving down the back roads home from church. Savior on the cross, just holds my hand as I go off. I say, I believe what you said in the word. He says, watch me love this broken, messed up girl. That's that.
Oh, oh man, there's so many words in that that just hit me so hard. And that could be a hit. I'm telling you right now. I don't know. Well, myself, my girlfriend, I played it for, and one other person, the guy that I work with oh yeah, SJR Music and Media Company, who is my first official sponsor on our episode here.
Yay.
So we'll have their links in the description. Um, I didn't sound awkward at all. I thought that might be a bit awkward, but no. Yeah, that's some powerful words in there. I love it. So, what does that song mean for you? Like,
I wrote that song a year ago, right as I was like coming back to faith in God and struggling with that transition period of coming out of your old life and being in a new one and not fully understanding how everybody seems like they have it all together.
mm,
And in writing that song, like it was so transformative for me because there was when I wrote it, I was like, oh, God would hate this. Like, God would hate this. Like, God hates me. Like, and all these things, which are not true in any capacity. And, but through that song, it was easy for me to be like, see the consequences of my own actions almost. Where it was like, wow, like, look at the guilt and the separation that I feel from God. That's not even from God. Like, it's just from guilt and from shame of like these things. And it's funny to play now because I don't smoke anymore and I don't drink um but it still rings so true to me in the sense of like I'm never going to be perfect. And there's always going to be that small feeling of inadequacy, when you're coming before God. Um and the end of that song has always been like such a strength point for me in the sense of it doesn't matter where I'm at in my life. Like I am still loved without bound. Like I am still loved and redeemed at a very high price. And I'm so grateful for that. Not to be preachy, but that's what that song means for me.
No, it's perfect. I love it. I think it hits me so much because, well, like I said, almost 25 years, I drank 5 to 6 nights a week. And my parents were ministers in the what's called the Salvation Army, which I'm sure you've heard of. So I was around church for the first 15, 16 years of my life, and then I went away and my dark place. And then I moved to a little town here in the middle of nowhere with 3,000 people in it. And one of the first people I met in town was the Baptist pastor. And his daughter, my daughter, became close friends. They're same age and stuff. And I would say this guy, I've known him 4 years, and he's the best friend I've ever had in my life. And he checks in every second day. We haven't gone like a day without texting in like 4 years, but it's just you got to hang on to people like that. And then with the word about is being disappointed. So when I would try and fix things or go get help, and then I go back and have dark moments, I'm like, oh, I'm such a disappointed to everyone, right? I'd stay silent. So it really hit me, and I think that song hit a lot of people.
Well, thank you. And thank you for having the vulnerability to share that with me. That's so validating and so special to me that even, that touched any part of anybody. That's such an honor to hear.
Well, my girlfriend has a lot of thoughts on that song because she went through some stuff for a lot of years, which is not my business to talk about. But I'm sure she might send you a message as well because that song really hit her too, just on a different side of the realm that I won't go into. But let's uh, let's play another one. What else? What's another title you got here?
So I tried to pick ones that were maybe not depressing and not because the music that I write is like I said, I'm repeating myself. Like they are diary entries, and so sometimes they get a little heavy. Um, but this one I left a cult about 2 years ago. That like they are meant to break down your identity. And so I wrote this after leaving and about my feelings about leaving and the unique opportunity to be able to meet yourself from the ground up and create yourself and learn who you are from a completely blank slate, which is challenging in the moment and so rewarding afterwards.
Oh,
So this is called Mirror and I. It's the wrong key. I'll get into computers or video games, one of the five I think I could play. I'll start to read books, ones that rhyme and ones that start with once upon a time. I'll reinvent, I'll recreate, I'll learn to sing or to crochet. I'm bad at art, but maybe I'll learn to paint. Think I'll just take back my legal name. Who am I when I'm not told, when I don't fit inside your mold? Don't know who I am, I just know you. Who am I without one to tell me, or manipulation writing my story? Don't know what I want, just what I'm told to. I knew you, but I want to meet me. Killed the first one, but that's not the ending. Making plans with my mirror now. And we'll get better, we just have to learn how. I'll get into the Bible, new me, new faith. This time find one that resonates. I'll book a trip to the mountains, not because you said, but because I deserve vacations. Unlearn the lies you framed as truth. My life built on fake absolutes. And I will heal, but not because I'm allowed to. Just so you know, I'm covering my tattoos. Who am I when I'm not told, when I don't fit inside your mold? Don't know who I am, I just know you. Who am I without one to tell me, or manipulation writing my story? Don't know what I want, just what I'm told to. I knew you, but I wanna meet me. I killed the first word, that's not the ending. Making plans with my mirror now. We'll get better, we just have to learn now. I'm still kind, I'm still loving, and I've still got faith in everybody. I'm beat down, I feel brutalized, but that's not my fault. That's yours, not mine. Who am I now that I'm out? What do I think that life's about? Going on a first date with myself. Think she's funny, she's interesting, she's so much braver than she thinks. She'll be fine, she just needs a little help. I knew you, but I wanna meet me. Killed the first one, but that's just beginning. Making plans with my mirror now. We'll get better, we just have to learn how. So for now, I think I'll get into computers. That is that.
Awesome. Your songs are like little mini stories. I love it. Like
Thank
you're
you.
such a good writer and so talented. I'm so glad I stumbled upon your page at 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was, when I couldn't sleep. But what I'll do afterwards, if you can send me the titles of all those songs, I'm gonna get you to do one more before we go. But that's crazy that you. There's so many questions I have with leaving a cult, but I wouldn't pressure you to go into that or anything.
It's a far less interesting story than I think people expect it to be. So you're not missing much, I promise.
Okay, we'll leave it there in the mystery for in case you ever write a book.
Oh, perfect. There you go.
Don't want no spoiler alerts on my show. So yeah, I had an artist on with me a month ago, Gabriel Marchuk, and his words and your words and the way he writes a song and the way he plays are almost like clones of each other. You gotta follow him. So I'd love to see you do a song with him. But
That's so
speaking
special.
speaking of that, if you could do a duet with anyone, any artist in the world right now, who would you pick?
Oh, I would pick Gregory Alan Isakov, no questions asked. He has this great respect and reverence for music as a sound in a way that I don't have the like musical capability to do, just like musically, like with instruments. And and the way that he plays and the way that he writes is so ethereal and it's just absolutely unreal. Um I would do anything to sit. I would do anything to sit in a little room on the floor and watch him
Hmm.
record.
Well, you
Just
know
so
what?
much.
I'll tag him in this episode. You never know. Um,
Perfect.
some crazy things have happened from my little episodes. The way I look at it, so when I first started this podcast, I went on with a lady, and she's like, "Listen, I only get 5 listeners a week, 5 to 10 listeners a week." And she's like, are you sure you want to come on with me?" And I'm like, "Listen, if one of those people is me 10 years ago, drunk out of his mind, looking over a balcony, thinking about jumping off, wonder if anyone would even give a shit, then that's worth every second." So if there's like, there's some little girl or someone watching this or someone looking to get into music or just want to write a song or they're not brave enough, you never know who this could reach and hit because I've gotten some weird downloads from Singapore, Germany, Australia, Sweden. Now 87% of my users are in Canada because that's where I tag everything from, and about 10% in the US, but little corners of the world. Like you never know who's going to hear one of these songs and be like, "Oh, okay."
No, absolutely. I get comments on my live stream of people just saying where they're from. And when one person does it, everybody follows and will say where they're from. And it'll be, the Netherlands and Norway and France and Germany and Belgium. And I'm sitting there reading them like, this is incredible. Like, what a what an honor to like sit here and I don't know you. And we're all like sitting basically in a little room together from all over the world. Like that's so special to be so connected, especially in a world where I think we a lot of times feel so disconnected. So like be able to take a second to look back and be like, no, like look at how many people I'm surrounded by that I never would have encountered otherwise.
Yeah, and I mean, I used to hide myself when I went on someone's live and I played a song. I had my camera off because I was terrified, and so I just played. And then I got brave enough to turn it on, and now I've actually I've written a couple songs that I've had just in the back pocket for years. Like when my daughter was born, almost 11 years ago, I wrote a song and never put music to it. And then 3 weeks ago, I put a tune to it and posted it. I just all these
Wow.
crazy things are happening. But I'm
That's
only at two songs. I'm not quite at 100 yet, but I've got a lot of stuff in here that I can get down here.
needs to get on paper. You gotta get to it.
Yeah,
The world needs it.
for sure. Um, if you don't mind doing one more song, I love it. I think I'm getting a free concert here.
Well, I do have one more. I played this starting the second day I went live. Um, at the end of every live stream. It's called Airborne. I wrote it 5 years ago, and it's the last song I always play, just because I feel like it's a good note to end on. Um, just because like I never know if people will come back or not, and so like I want that to be the last thing to hear because this song is about um, being grateful for every moment, even when you don't really know where the destination is, and a lot of things. It's really like grown with me over the last 5 years. Anyway, this is called Airborne. The knives all in my past had me waiting at the airport for 24 long months until I found you. Thought you were my plane, but I was so mistaken. I forgot that gateways still have value. You were my gate 10D, got me to my plane safely. I know I didn't want to leave. I'm really glad you made me. 'Cause now I'm airborne, exactly where I wanna be. Don't know where I'm going, but I cannot wait to see. Airborne, evolving and I'm new, and I swear to God it's true. I am someone I'm starting to get used to. And I can feel my past becoming little ants below me, pain I thought would never end. Stop feeling like obituaries. Seatbelt light turns off. I'm free to roam about the cabin, explore this little mission as I soar to my next destination. You were my gate 10D, got me to my plane safely. I know I didn't want to leave. I'm so grateful that you made me. And now I'm airborne, exactly where I wanna be. Don't know where I'm going, but I cannot wait to see. Airborne, evolving and I'm new, and I swear to God it's true. I am someone I'm starting to get used to. And on land, I hope the deer still cross your path. I hope the stories you remember still reach me through oxygen masks. Airborne, exactly where I wanna be. Don't know where I'm going, I just cannot wait to see. Airborne, evolving and I'm new, and I swear to God it's true. I am someone I'm starting to get used to. Airborne. Whoa,
That was incredible.
thanks.
Oh, another one that hit me. Just as a dad of a little 10-year-old girl, that one got me right here. So I put you big screen so nobody could see me.
That is so sweet.
Wow. Oh, I'm so glad you came out with me. This was just like a free little concert for me. And I'm going to put you got the Substack where people can go listen to some of your music. I'll put that link in the description. Your TikTok. Do you have anything, Instagram or anything like that? Anything you want
I
me to put
have
in
an
there, let me know.
Instagram. I don't really do much music on it. but it's Faith on Branches, like the tree.
Oh,
If you want to follow me on Instagram. But mostly just the Substack. That's where I post music and stuff.
nice. So, well, this podcast will be on YouTube, iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify, um, and like 15 other audio sites. So,
It's everywhere. You've got all the bases covered.
I do. I'm pretty excited. I think you're so talented, and your songs are so real, and I think they'll hit people, and that's what I like. It's not. I mean, I grew up listening to the '80s metal, which most of the songs were about girls and drugs and partying, right? Like, but then I listen to a lot of Ed Sheeran. I listen to a lot of every kind of music you can think of. Daddy Yankees on my playlist. I just love all kinds of music, and so I do have one last question that I ask at the end of all my heavy episodes, just to kind of break the ice again. So here goes: 100-meter pigeon carrying contest. How many pigeons do you think you could start with and have at the end of your arms at the end of the race?
Like, can I go back and forth or am I holding?
This is
Oh,
one time. Yeah, you grab as
uh,
many pigeons as you can at the start. And how many do you think you'd have in your hands at the end of the race?
for sure, two. I think I could definitely do two. My worry is like if I like do like this number, like what if I squish the pigeons, like pushing them too close together? I think on a conservative estimate, I would say two,
Two?
because like,
Or
that's going to be a lot of stress in my hands. And I'm anti pigeon cruelty, hot take, controversial. Um, maybe three if I like did like this little number, but I think three like maximum. How many are people saying they could hold?
the most I had was 150. This lady said she'd put double-sided duct tape on her entire outfit and then just, yeah. People have come up with all kinds of answers.
Well, if I could prepare for it in advance,
Well,
maybe I would bring like a shopping cart or something. I don't know. But me right now, if I were to transport to the Pigeon Olympics, I think two, three tops.
perfect. One of my military friends said to me, you talk about all these heavy subjects, and the thing that's going to get you canceled is probably PETA coming after you about pigeons and pigeon safety or something.
It's single
Who
issue
knows?
voters about pigeon cruelty.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming out with me. I hope it inspires a lot of people listening to you. And I'd love for you to join me on one of my Every Sunday, I do a mental health open mic where it's just anybody can come in and sing and play or read a poem or just talk about something shitty that happened to them during the week. And love to have you come on there with me some Sunday.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me and for this podcast and for your mission and inspiring people and sharing stories. That's so special.
Thank you. We'll definitely be in touch.
Alrighty.
All right, everyone, go check out the description, give Faith a follow, listen to her on Substack, and hopefully one of these days when she gets a Grammy, she remembers our little show here and gives us all a shout out. Take care.
You too.